Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in! Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Tuesday. Hope that work week's off to a good start. Appreciate you hanging out with us on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Got Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos, and plenty to do over the next couple of hours. Sharif Ishak moving up a little bit. We'll talk to him in 15 minutes. It's been a busy 24 hours for the New Orleans Saints. What's to come? Talk about what has happened with Sharif. I'll give you some thoughts on what may be to come later on in hour number 2. Glenn West talking Tigers at 1:30. We'll talk a little bit about LSU baseball as they get ready to play Creighton tonight at the box at 6:30. So lots and lots to do. Let's crank things up with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
How about this? This is just I'm exercising my right as the show host to inject a little bit of positivity here with LSU baseball. Is everything sunshine and rainbows right now? It's not. Can you look up some really depressing numbers about the way LSU is played? You can. Am I going to do that in this segment right here? I'm not. I'm going to start with a smile on my face and some real positive information. And you might say, well, Hunt, where are you going to find that positive information? They've lost 4 out of 5 games. They can't beat Northeastern. They can't beat Louisiana Lafayette. They can't beat Sacramento State. Where could you possibly find this positive information? Well, I can, because Jake Brown has been incredible. And so I made it my mission today, as I was looking over the statistics for LSU baseball, as I often do a couple times a week, and I started to go through Jake Brown's statistics, and I looked at them in a big picture. I looked at them game over game. I looked at them as compared to last year, and it's just very evident that Jake has evolved in his offensive game to the next level. And I completely take into account LSU's competition level when I say that. But I watch LSU hitters face bad competition every year, and I've watched Jake Brown hit for 3 years. And I just feel comfortable in suggesting that Jake Brown has elevated himself to an all-SEC type player, to an all-American type player, to a top 2 round in the MLB draft type player, to the most feared hitter in LSU's lineup. And you look at these numbers, and LSU's played 7 games. Jake Brown's been out 17 games. Jake Brown's been out there for all 17 games. Only 3 of the 17 games has Jake Brown gone hitless. He's got at least 1 hit in 14 of the 17 games. In 2 of the games where he doesn't have a hit, he has at least drawn a walk. So he's reached base safely in 16 out of 17 games. For perspective, those 3 hitless games that he has this year in 17 games, that matches his multi-home run game total. He's got 3 games with multiple homers and 3 games with no hits. That's pretty good. You look at his multi-hit games, he's got 9 of those in 17 games. That's more than half of LSU's games. He's getting multiple hits. And another real key piece to the puzzle for Jake Brown is limiting the swing and miss, limiting the strikeouts. And oftentimes last year, he did strike out. Now, he was facing some of the better pitchers in the country, but his strikeout rate was 16%. It's not terrible, but it's a little bit elevated. That number is down to 8%. Now, that number is very, very strongly influenced by the quality of pitching or lack thereof that LSU is seeing. I fully embrace the fact that that number rises when you play Vanderbilt and you play Mississippi State and you play the teams that LSU is going to play moving forward. That number is going to go up from 8%. But Jake Brown is very, very much limiting strikeouts to the point that he has 2 strikeouts in his last 51 at-bats. He has 2 strikeouts in his last 58 plate appearances. I mean, they're not facing a bunch of SWAC schools every game. They are facing guys that throw 92, 93, 94 miles an hour. And Jake Brown is consistently putting the ball in play, and he's consistently driving the baseball. His OPS is over 1,200. That's exceptional. 8 home runs matches his total last year. And I don't have to question whether or not Jake Brown will handle himself when you get to SEC pitching. Why? Well, because last year in SEC play, Jake Brown hit 324. So he's already proven himself against elite competition. Now, almost all of that was against right-handed pitching, because that's what Jake Brown faced last year. Josh Pearson drew the assignments against left-handed pitching. Josh Pearson started 21 SEC games last year. Jake Brown only started 16 SEC games last year. Jake Brown's at-bat total in SEC play was 74. Derek Curiel led LSU with 125. That's 50 more at-bats. So Jake Brown's going to see more left-handed pitching. He's going to see better pitching in Southeastern Conference play. He's going to see tough arms, and he's not going to hit 415, 420, and I don't think he's going to hit 25 home runs. But he's off to such an excellent start, and I think that's gotten a little bit lost in LSU's offensive struggles, and certainly our narrative in writing and talking and discussing LSU baseball needs to center around the team's performance, not what one guy is doing, independent of everyone else who's fighting it. But Jake Brown has been awesome. And his story is such a good one, and I like talking about Jake Brown because of it. When I did my check-in on the draft 3 years ago, coming out of high school, LSU was getting 2 prized left-handers out of the state of Louisiana. They were getting Cade Anderson and Jake Brown, left-handed pitchers. Now, both of them did hit in high school. Both of them hit pretty well in high school. But I was under the impression that these 2 guys were coming in as left-handed pitchers. And Jake Brown came in, and he did pitch a little bit in that first fall, but he also hit, and he hit a lot. And I could tell that it was a more impactful offensive effort than I had even noticed in the fall, because LSU came out with their fall report, and Kendall Rogers was glowing about Jake Brown on D1 baseball. And I know that when they put those together, and this is not a secret, Joe Healy said this many times, when they put together those fall reports, they just talked to the head coach. And so you know that when you read that the head coach was very impressed with Jake Brown offensively. And he wrestled his way into the starting lineup a lot late in his freshman season. Now, the numbers were not awesome. For a lot of SEC play, he was hitting below 200. But the athleticism was so good, and the upside was so much, and that team was really struggling to find its way. Of course, that's a team that started 3-12 in league play, that Jay Johnson just felt like that was a guy that needed to get out there. And he fought his way through it. But last year, he blossomed into a more complete offensive player. For the season, Jake Brown hit 320. He hit 8 homers. But his best work was done in league play, where his batting average was better than that, and he had 6 home runs. And so now you've got a centerpiece of this offense. You've got Jake Brown as the threat, the power threat, the slugging threat, the left-handed feared bat. He's that. And then you've got Curiel, who needs to be a table setter. And the rest of the pieces just have to fit in around that. You want to split Brown and Curiel and put Milam or York or one of these other guys, maybe Stanfield when he gets back, between them, you can. You just want to hit those guys first because you want those to be the first 2 guys an opposing pitcher's got to see. You can do that. Jay Johnson loved putting Dylan Cruz in the leadoff spot. This is the guy you got to deal with first. Have at it. Rest of the guys have got to come around behind him. We know that. But Jake Brown statistically has just been remarkable in the pre-conference. And now it's his job to carry that into league play. He led LSU in steals last year. He leads LSU in steals this year. He brings a little bit of that to the table. If he could just clean up his throws into the infield, which have cost him 2 errors in the last 2 weeks, then he's a complete guy. And he's a guy that I could absolutely see going in the first round of the draft next year. Jake Brown hits 375 with 17 home runs. He's going to be a first-round pick. He'll be an All-American. He'll be what a great LSU player ultimately can be. And I wasn't saying that was a slam dunk in January, because you have to watch him hit a little bit off left-handed pitching, which he's done a better job of, and you got to watch him develop into a complete hitter. And I think the coolest thing about that 3 home run game on Friday was the first one was to left field, the second one was to center field, the third one was to right field. That's a special talent, a special hitter taking over. And Jake Brown has never once, throughout his time as a developing player in this program, from, hey, you're a pitcher, hey, no, now you're a hitter, now you're coming off the bench, now you're a starter, now last year you're a platoon player, you're going to play sometimes in right field, then you're going to play sometimes as a pinch hitter against right-handed pitching later, which he embraced and got a huge hit in Omaha. And then now you're the star. And he's embraced that every step of the way. He's been about the right things every step of the way. He's never complained or did anything close to that. In the regional last year, he came up to press conference after Josh Pearson had pinch hit for him and was saying how much he was pulling for Josh and how much he likes Josh. He just didn't pout and go transfer or go down and lash out on social media because I'm not starting every day even though I'm a great player. He just embraced his role. It's part of the culture of LSU baseball, part of what Jay Johnson has instilled here, and it's a huge credit to Jake Brown, and it's all paying off this year as he's off to a phenomenal start. And the rest of the guys have got to come along with him, but LSU's got its dude in the middle of this lineup. That is Jake Brown. I very much enjoyed diving through his statistics earlier today, and you can go check that out at LouisianaSports.net. Got a story up on the homepage right there, just talking about and listen through the numbers of all the great stuff that Jake has done to this point. I expect a lot more of the same as you move into SEC play from the guy who's been the best hitter on LSU's lineup for 4 weeks. All right, that's off and running here on this Tuesday. Step aside, Sharif Ishak on a busy happenstance with the Saints yesterday in free agency and what may be to come. We'll do all that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, lifetimeroofingla.com, lifetimeroofingla.com. Getting a new roof put on can be an intimidating process because they can be expensive. Financing's available. Lifetime Roofing has that for you. 0% up to 18 months. Same as cash, up to 18 months. So if you need to buy a new roof because you're about to sell your home and don't feel like the roof that's currently there is in the best shape to get the best amount of money for your home, Lifetime Roofing can help you out with that. If you'd like to finance your deductible, you have had some sort of event and you do qualify to file a claim, and you got a sizable deductible, maybe it's 2%, they can handle that as well over at Lifetime Roofing. And as of January 1st, as I've told you every single day, they can offer a lifetime warranty on the workmanship and the materials, which are backed by CertainTeed, one of the oldest and most trusted names in building materials. Lifetime Roofing, lifetime workmanship warranty. Check them out at lifetimeroofingla.com. That's lifetimeroofingla.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Shaw and Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll talk to Glenn West about the Tigers at 1:30. LSU and Kentucky tomorrow from Nashville in the SEC basketball tournament. We'll briefly touch on that and the future of LSU hoops. We'll also talk some baseball with Glenn. So looking forward to that. But right now, let's talk Saints. It's been very, very busy 24 hours in the Big Easy. Sharif Ishak covers the black and gold for WDSU. He's with us on Tuesday. Sharif, how we doing?
Good, man. Good start so far for the Saints. I'm sure the city's feeling great.
It has been. Let's get to that. Let's first start with the subtractions, then we'll get to the additions. Obviously, DeMario Davis and Alontae Taylor moving away from New Orleans. They both land in new spots. DeMario Davis with the Jets, Alontae Taylor with the Titans. What does that mean for the Saints' defense?
Well, it means that they obviously need to replace a massive leader and great player in DeMario Davis, who has done it at a very high level for 8+ seasons for the New Orleans Saints, missing only 2 games, and an amazing leader in the locker room, amazing leader off the field in the community. That's a lot. That's a lot to replace, man. It truly is a lot to replace a great person, great human, and a great player in DeMario Davis, his wife, as well as his foundation. Alontae Taylor, I think they weren't going to ever pay $20 million for Alontae Taylor. I mean, let's just go ahead and say that. I just think they needed to go in a different direction for what Brandon Staley's defense implements. I just don't think that's a fit. And I think that, they're going to have to address that slot star position in some form or fashion, whether it's in the draft or here in free agency. I think that they are going to have a chance to do that. I mean, they're sitting very pretty in a way to be able to replace both of those guys.
So let's look to the offense. That's where they started to make some significant additions. You saw an addition at left guard. You saw an addition at running back. And you also saw one at tight end yesterday with Fant after we were off the air. So how do you feel the Saints addressed offense yesterday in the first day of free agency?
It was very smart. They're building around Tyler Shuck while they have him on a rookie contract. You have the ability to spend that money, which is a great thing. And you start by solidifying, like I told you, for many weeks, they need to start with guard, and David Edwards was the first names we discussed on the show. You got to bring in a guard that is, played in a similar type of offense with a quarterback who could scramble and get open and make some throws happen in Josh Allen. So it translates well to the Saints offense. So this works. It works. And David Edwards has been very, very solid throughout his entire career in terms of run blocking and pass blocking. So they get exactly what they need, the top guard in free agency. And that was a brilliant move by Mickey Loomis in the front office to make sure they solidify that offensive line. I still personally don't think they're done along that offensive line. They need another guard, whether in free agency or draft. They have to continue building on the depth there. They need some more pieces along that offensive line. And then you go to Travis Etienne. Some people are going to like it. Some people aren't going to like it. That just tells you that they weren't going to, unfortunately, get Jeremiah Love. So that was a move that needed to happen, a guy who could catch it out of the backfield and run it. And he could also block. And another very good thing about him is he can run out of the shotgun, something they've been missing for years. And this offense likes to run the zone read out of the shotgun. So those two moves, I think, really kick things off. And I continue to say they're not done yet. But to bring those two pieces on first just shows you that the Saints are serious about building around Tyler Shuck And it's a much different conversation than we have in previous years, where they're usually just, shopping on the clearance rack. Now they're shopping on the legit rack and buying off and getting these players the right way.
What does the contract restructure and the signing of Travis Etienne mean for Alvin Kamara?
That's going to be that contract thing was such a tricky situation. Everyone was trying to figure out for a few days how it was going to work. It's one of two things, huh? He becomes a 2 or 3, or it's it. And I know he said he'd rather drink pina colada somewhere than play with another team. So to me, it's either he plays on the contract, the minimum pretty much, or he's going to retire. And knowing Alvin, he doesn't want to play anywhere else. He has said that many a time. Of the main veterans, he is the one that has said it. I do not want to play anywhere else. I'd much rather just retire.
I just find that a little bit hard to believe. I understand that he said that, and I understand that that would be going on his word, but I don't know if you can always understand what the circumstances are going to be. So I guess the question would be for me to ask to you is, do you believe the Saints are making moves in case Alvin Kamara retires, or the Saints are making moves to better their team and it may force Alvin Kamara into retirement?
I truly think they're making moves to better the team.
Okay.
I'm not saying that they're trying to push him to retirement. They see a window, and now they're going to see that window for years was sealed shut. Now it's open again. So now they have the money to finagle and make some moves and improve this team and get younger. For many years, people have been kicking and screaming, this team needs to get younger. This team needs to get younger in a lot of important positions. And now they are doing that. And if it pushes him out of the door, that's just the business of it. It's unfortunate, but his production has certainly dipped off in the last few years. And now they have to look toward the future at running back. They need somebody who can be productive on the ground and through the air. And that's why that Travis move was made yesterday. And it's just it opens the door for so many possibilities. I think if he would love to stay on, and he is the number 3 or 2 or 3 running back, I think they'd be fine with it. But they don't think that they're not done addressing that position. Whether I think in the draft, late in the draft, 2nd or 3rd round, 4th round, they may still go out there and get another running back. And it could be in a situation where Jeremiah Love may still be on the board, by the way. But I doubt it. I don't think they would do it, but they still need to address that position one more time.
What do you think about the rest of free agency? Maybe player specific, maybe position specific. What do you think the Saints are looking at over the next 48 hours or so?
I really have thought they were going to be in on Devin Lloyd, and then the Panthers swooped in and got him. So they're put in a typical situation at linebacker. So that might be a position that they can look at number 8, which we talked about last week with Sonny Styles.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to move back a little bit now, if somebody's going to essentially get Jeremiah Love in a top 6, 7. But they need to address that position. They desperately need somebody they can count on. Stutzman, rookie last year. Pete Werner, you still need to see more from both of those guys. So that's another position. Another edge rusher, and I think they would need to obviously address the slot corner position. I think the edge and slot are one of the 2 positions I think they can dip into free agency and make that work. Now, Cam Jordan, I'm not counting Cam Jordan. They still need to get another defensive end, even if they bring Cam Jordan back.
Yeah, and the Saints have like 2.5 hours to get Cam Jordan agreed to a contract, or else that dead money hits, and it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. So the question is, do they take the dead money hit and then sign him, or do they see if they move in a different direction? I think that's an interesting deal. So now, as you look at where they were aggressive early in free agency, what's the most likely scenario with that draft pick? Is it wide receiver? Is it Sonny Styles at linebacker? Is it trying to find an edge rush? Like, what's the most likely now that you know where they've gone in free agency? And I guess one of those pieces being a running back obviously reshapes that conversation.
Look, Hunt, they're in a very good spot there at number 8.
Yeah.
A lot of these players are going to fall back to them. You know, you have a Carnell Tate situation at Ohio State. You know they love Ohio State. They can just stay there and go to defense. If Sonny Styles is there, or Caleb Downs, one of those 3 Ohio State players could be a true impact player on either side of the ball. You ask me, and if they can't find a linebacker in free agency that is worth their while, and if Sonny Styles is sitting there, he's a unicorn. He played safety, he started his career, and moved to linebacker. You want that's a prototypical type of NFL linebacker now, guy who can move sideline to sideline and get in the backfield. If he's there at number 8, it's hard for me to pass on him now, knowing that's a massive position of need to me. And then you can get a receiver in the second round because it is a loaded draft when it comes to receiver. But if Styles was gone and Carnell Tate's there, I would be happy with that as well because they still need to give Tyler another playmaker or two along that, in that offense. So I'd be good either way. Sonny Styles there and then receiver second, or Carnell Tate first and then best player available in the second round, whether if it's an edge rusher or a slot corner. So they are in a very good spot, man. It's probably the best situation they've been in quite some time.
It's interesting, and this is an emotional question, not a football question, but you'll be out there for training camp and kind of see how things look. But considering that it's a real possibility, based on our discussion over the last 10 minutes, that the Saints do not have Demario Davis, do not have Cam Jordan, do not have Taysom Hill, and do not have Alvin Kamara in training camp. It's not a lock. Kamara is under contract and very well could be back, but it's possible that none of those players are on the team. What will that feel like for the city?
It'll feel different. It truly will feel different, man. You have to start getting familiar with new faces and just familiar with a different style of football, man. I mean, that's just what we call father time. Yep. It was eventually going to come. At some point in time, I think the fans knew, hey, all four of those guys aren't going to be on the team. One day, all four will not be there at some point. And I think, at some point it's becoming now, Hunt. It truly is becoming now. If it isn't this season, it's 100% going to be next season. Let's just say Cam and Alvin are back. That doesn't mean they're going to be back after this season. This could be it, or it could be one of those guys. But I think fans have, come to realize that it's just the time is coming. It is coming, and it's coming fast, and they have to just get adjusted to it. If you want to win, you have to start making moves on this roster, and that's just the business of it.
It's a new era of Saints football. I think that's an exciting thing. While you're emotional, you might have to get a new jersey if you're a Saints fan. If one of those has been on your back for a long time, or you can just keep wearing it. But there may not be on the field anymore moving forward. Sharif, we appreciate the time. We'll talk next week.
All right, Hunt.
Sharif Ishak, WDSU, down in New Orleans. I think it's exciting for the Saints to have that opportunity to move into a different era with a lot of different players moving to the forefront as the face of the franchise. I mean, you had such a long time where that was Drew Brees and everybody else was kind of secondary to that. And then I think once Drew Brees left, it was the guys I just talked about. And now you're going to have all those guys moving on, and you gotta start with some new leaders, some new faces, fresh. And I think it's an exciting deal for New Orleans. We'll continue to monitor things as things happen with free agency. I'll talk in hour number 2 about some of the targets that the Saints may still be pursuing in free agency because they're not done spending money. They've got some money available to spend. So we'll talk about that as we move forward. When we come back, we'll talk some LSU Tigers with Glenn West. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. Looking for a residential loan? First American Bank and Trust. Looking for a commercial loan? First American Bank and Trust. What makes First American different is it's the family feel and culture that they've got with the resources those big national banks provide. 25 locations gives them those types of resources. But that doesn't take away from the fact that they are a community bank first and foremost. 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. No matter where you are in our little pocket of the world, First American Bank and Trust has a branch near you. And the folks that work in that branch, they go to church with you. Their kids go to school with yours. They are part of the community that they work in. And every decision that's made at First American Bank and Trust, all of them are made in Southeast Louisiana. Not in some corporate office in Manhattan. Right here in South Louisiana. That's why you do business with First American Bank and Trust. Started up in 1910, 116 years later, still getting after it here in Southeast Louisiana. It's First American Bank and Trust.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
Cane's Box Combo. A symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Reminder, we will be at Court to Table tonight for sports trivia at 8 o'clock. Court to Table on Burbank Sports Trivia at 8 o'clock. They got the LSU baseball game on, so you want to watch that, win some gift cards, play some trivia, great food and drinks. Court to Table, 8 o'clock this evening on Burbank. And also want to remind you about Highland Insurance Group. HighlandIG.com is where you can find them online, HighlandIG.com. Employment practice liability insurance, crime insurance, cyber insurance, directors and officers insurance, umbrella. Do you know what all of that is? So sure you've got an idea, but do you know what the coverages need to read like? Do you know what the exclusions may be on your policy? Do you know what you need to be covered for in your line of work when it comes to these policies? If you don't, and your broker hasn't walked you through that, let Jonathan Carver and his team at the Highland Insurance Group take a look. They are experts when it comes to insurance from a technical perspective. They will make sure you are with the right carrier at the right price with the right coverages so that you're not paying a premium up front and then having to pay for an uncovered claim on the back end. Insurance is not the most fun thing to talk about, I know it, but the Howard Insurance Group truly has a wonderful team of professionals that will take care of your business. Trust them like you do your attorney. Trust them like you do your CPA. Trust your insurance broker at the Highland Insurance Group. They're online at HighlandIG.com. Glenn West, 24/7 Sports, seen you right over there at Go 24/7 with us on Tuesdays. Glenn, how are you?
Oh, hanging in there, Hunt. How about yourself?
Doing all right. Let's touch on basketball before we get to baseball. Neither one amazingly positive at this point, but LSU will play Kentucky tomorrow in Nashville. I assume that will probably be the end of the line for the team. What do you think the rest of the week looks like for this basketball program?
Yeah, I think that's the question here. I think it's been the question for the last 2 or 3 weeks is about just what they decide to do with the future of this program, and will Matt McMahon be here beyond Wednesday or Thursday or whenever the Tigers are eliminated from the SEC tournament is the question that I think we'll have an answer to here sooner than later. Like, I do think that we get a pretty hasty decision there in terms of when that's announced, whether he'll be back or whether they'll tear this thing down and try to start from the studs again. But I still don't know that I've changed my opinion on this more, throughout the last week when, since the last time we talked about this. I do think that there's maybe a growing sense that he could be back, but I'm certainly not ruling out the idea of him being fired and LSU looking for their next head basketball coach as well. Like, I do think that all options are still on the table, at least publicly right now. They probably have an idea privately of what they're going to do, but I think right now, at least from everything we've heard from Verge Osbury and from obviously Coach McMahon this last weekend, I think that there's an opportunity here for him to potentially be back next season.
How much of this year do you put on Thomas and Reed going down, and how much do you put on it being a roster that wasn't going to be able to defend even with those two guys?
Yeah, I listened to you yesterday, and I think you put it the best way, is that it was a flawed way to maybe build a roster, but I think it also was probably the right risk to take at the time, just because if you had looked at the previous 3 seasons, the one position where you could say that LSU just had not had consistency was at the point guard position. And they went out and they found an elite floor general. Our guys at CBS Sports, one of our portal guys, Travis Branham, wrote an article today about the top 10 impactful transfers. And despite De'Don Thomas missing the entirety of SEC play, he was on that list at number 7. Like, he was a extremely impactful player when he was on the floor. But they just missed him for the most important part of their schedule. So I did write a piece this morning saying that regardless of what happens, I think LSU should do whatever it takes, whether McMahon's here or not, or there's another coach, to get Thomas back in the fold for next season. I think the fact that he'll be coming off an injury maybe helps LSU in that case. But I think that it was a massive blow to lose him. And, you feel awful for Jalen Reed and what he had to go through in November. But I do think that maybe that was one they could have overcome. The Thomas injury, when that happened, there was just no way that this team was going to be able to stay competitive. And I think that points to what you mentioned yesterday, was that it was just a flawed design in terms of, how many other players could you possibly expect to impact the team in a way that he could, and if he missed time, how that would negatively affect the team. And we've seen it here over the last 8-9 weeks.
We'll move to baseball, but I do think I haven't even considered this, that like as little as LSU fans are invested in November and December basketball, there's probably a sizable portion of the fan base that just never even saw De'Don Thomas play. If you weren't locked in to when they were beating SWAC teams by 40 in November, like, you really didn't even see him, and then he got hurt before you started watching. Like, that's just it is a bummer. No question about that. All right, speaking of bummers, baseball struggling. What is the most noteworthy cause of the struggles to this point in your estimation?
Yeah, I think probably the quote that's just kind of stuck with me the last couple days after listening to a lot of Jay's press conferences here over the weekend is that far more good is happening when we don't swing than when we do swing. And I think that just points to a crux of the issue here, that LSU is just really struggling to make good contact with the ball right now. And until that changes, they are going to have to try to find ways to draw longer at bats and get more free passes and just put more pressure on the bases, because they just have not been doing that here recently. I got the numbers pulled up here. They've only walked more than 3 times once in the last 4 games. They had made it a habit to do that 6, 7, 8 times. Sometimes 10 or 14 times early in the first couple weeks of the season. So when you're just putting that much pressure on the bases, it just makes it a lot more easier for you to consistently get in scoring position, and they just haven't done that a whole lot here offensively. I do think that there are still some concerns about what this bullpen might look like. I think Ethan Plog is a guy that was maybe a positive for you this last weekend, but Gavin Guidry came out and had a 3-walk day and really struggled. I think this weekend he's obviously somebody that Jay is never going to lose faith in, and I don't mean to assume that they are going to lose faith in him, but they got to get more consistency out of him. They got to get more consistency out of Devin Sheeran. There's a lot going on right now, but I think the crux of the issues to me really lie with this offense and just the type of at-bats they're taking. And Jay Johnson really does seem to think it's a mental thing. Like, he doesn't have much concern about these guys' ability. It's just that now they've gotten themselves into this funk offensively. Who's going to be the one to kind of help dig themselves out of it? Those are the questions that I think are going to be had to be answered here over the next several games.
In the 4 losses last week, they were outscored 16-0 in the first 3 innings, and it's just a very difficult way to start a game when you're in a slump and then all of a sudden you're behind again. It's got to be. We've been in the ballpark. I was in Lafayette. We've been at the box. You can just sense the tension when LSU is hitting, and I think there is a mental aspect of that for sure. Is there a player or two that is in the platoon system that you want to see more consistently in the lineup? I mean, that you've got your pillar guys, but they're moving things around at second, moving things around at third, moving things around in left, moving things around at DH, and they're playing 2 catchers. Like, do you like the amount of guys that are getting at bats? Would you like to see that pared down a little bit?
I just don't think you can pare it down right now until somebody shows you some consistency there. Like I think you have to keep throwing stuff at the wall until somebody kind of earns their spot here. And for 2 weeks of the season, that guy was Seth Dardar for me, but he's struggled a lot. I mean, outside of really Derek Curiel and Jake Brown, there's just been a lot of inconsistency across the rest of this order. And so I don't think it's wrong that LSU's trying, Jack Ruckert out at second and seeing if he can't just get on base a couple times, draw a couple free passes, put a couple balls in play. I like the fact that they're trying Omar Sterner at DH, and then you also see him at first base every once in a while. Like, I just think you have to keep trying to figure stuff out. Braden Simpson's another guy who's been kind of in and out of the lineup, but I think can put together quality at bats for you. It's just all of this is happening at the same time. Like, there's so many guys that are struggling at the same time that I think it's kind of thrown the offense through a loop here, and they just got to figure out a way collectively to try to dig themselves out of it. And, I think more so than anything, it's mental with this group right now. I really don't think it has anything to do with their ability. I think that they have some talented hitters on this team, and it's just taken a lot longer than maybe Jay Johnson expected and these players expected to kind of dig themselves out of it.
How important is this weekend in Nashville?
It's extremely important because, you're going up against a Vanderbilt team that's also kind of struggling right now. They're particularly struggling on the mound, which is a little uncharacteristic for Vanderbilt, but they've got to build some momentum here. And I think, tonight against Creighton will be a great opportunity to do that. But yeah, you've certainly got to build some momentum here this weekend against Vandy. This was a very alarming week, but I think it's not one that you can't move past and dig yourself out of, because there are guys on this team who have contributed to major success. And, I think a big piece here that we maybe haven't touched on yet, but Chris Stanfield could certainly be back in the fold for you, hopefully this weekend in some capacity. You get him back as a veteran piece, that might help you a little bit, but they have a lot of guys who have been there, done that. And I just think it's just taken them a little bit longer to dig out of it, but once they do, I think that they should be all right.
Glenn, we appreciate the time. We'll talk next week.
All right. Thanks, Hunt.
Glenn West, senior writer, Go 24/7, covering the Tigers. Looking for team coverage, recruiting coverage. They got you covered over there at Go 24/7. Bruce Feldman did something interesting at The Athletic. He talked to 30 college football coaches, both head coaches and assistant coaches, and asked them if Lane Kiffin would win a national championship at LSU. And one aspect of the answers that we got, I think, is particularly interesting to me. So we'll come back and close out the hour with some of these anonymous quotes on LSU's head football coach that Bruce Feldman collected in The Athletic. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Neil and Melissa have been running Boudreaux's Electrical for 40 years. 40 years. If you're looking for that home standby generator from the folks at Generac, go to Boudreaux's Electrical. You're going to get a local full-time employee from Boudreaux's Electrical that's going to come in, set up, and then install that generator at your house. And then the folks at Boudreaux's Electrical will monitor that generator, and if there need to be maintenance work done on it, they'll handle that as well. There are a lot of places you can buy a Generac home standby generator. A lot of places. But what kind of customer service are you going to get after you make that purchase? That's the difference when you go with a family-owned and operated local company like Boudreaux's Electrical. You look at the top 5 Generac dealers in the state, you're going to see some big national companies that are selling them. Boudreaux's Electrical is the only local one. Go with Neil and Melissa, go with Boudreaux's Electrical, and make sure that your power is always on, whether it's storm season, whether it's winter season, whether it's just one of those aggravating afternoon power outages. Give yourself the peace of mind with a Generac home standby generator from the folks at Boudreaux's Electrical. Give them a call, 985-397-1562, 985-397-1562, or the Gonzales location, 225-300-9389.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Closing up hour one here, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Reminder from our friends over at Ochsner, it's Colon Cancer Awareness Month. Why is that important? Well, colon cancer is a common cancer, but it's preventable and treatable when it's caught early, and screening can detect precancerous polyps before they even turn into cancer. So who needs to get screened? Well, adults beginning at age 45 need to start that process, and anybody that's got family history of colon cancer may need to start a little bit earlier than that. If you've got persistent abdominal pain, bleeding, changes in bowel habits, don't delay care. Even if you feel like you're healthy, screening is very, very important. Colonoscopy is the golden standard here in terms of screening options. If you're at a low risk, then maybe some at-home tests can be an option. But talk with your provider. That's important. They can help determine the best choice. Look, it's about your personal risk. Schedule an appointment at ochsner.org/schedule or through the My Ochsner app. That's ochsner.org/schedule. It is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. All right, Bruce Feldman did a cool thing. I always enjoy these aggregate pieces that journalists do with some anonymity, so you feel like you can get a real answer from some contemporaries, from coaches and players around the country. And Bruce Feldman did it about Lane Kiffin and LSU. And the question was, will Lane Kiffin win a championship at LSU? And it's all anonymous, and that may make some of you kind of take it with a grain of salt, but I think it's interesting. So here are some quotes that Bruce Feldman got. This is from an SEC head coach. He's got a lot of money, and he's the only school in the state that has a logo like they do, and they've always found a way to win. I'm not saying you can hire a schmuck, but that's one of the easier jobs to win a national title at, in my opinion. There's another quote, this one from an SEC assistant. I think he'll have every resource he ever wanted and desired and complained he did not get at Ole Miss. He'll have that at his beck and call. It won't be for lack of resources. In today's world, I think he's always been on the front end of the portal. It won't be for lack of resources if he doesn't get it done. So you're hearing the same things that we always know, that LSU's got this advantage being in the state and having the backing of Louisiana with no competition for the homegrown players and all that. Here's what a MAC coach had to say. Combine how good a coach he is, love him or hate him, and now he's at a place that has all the resources to do it. Yes, he'll win. Then you got an AAC assistant. What Lane has done really well is learn from his previous experiences. He knows what truly matters, and that's getting good players in a good scheme, and I think he's leaving Charlie alone enough to do his thing. That's all very, very common stuff. LSU's got a lot of money. LSU's got a lot of history. LSU's got recruiting advantages. LSU's got Louisiana. Other coaches have done it. Like, that's all pretty vanilla stuff. This is where it starts to get a little bit more interesting. This is about this team specifically. A Big Ten assistant said, if he gets the right quarterback, I think he'll win one. But I don't believe in the Levitt kid, to be honest. He gets too emotional and makes too many mistakes. He actually reminds me of Matt Corral. Well, that's interesting because obviously Kiffin coached Matt Corral. So there's a demerit for Sam Levitt. A Big 12 assistant. With the resources they have there and how much money they're spending now, he should win one. But I get the feeling he won't. It's Lane. He can be his own worst enemy, and he has a hard time staying out of his own way. That part ain't changed. This is another assistant, this time from the Big Ten. Same type deal. I think he'll find a way to get in his own way. He's a really good coach, but he'll find a way to stir up drama. And you can say that doesn't affect college kids, but it definitely does, and it also affects coaches. And also the way he got there, we believe that you were this reformed new man at Ole Miss, but you just showed us that you're just still the same old Lane Kiffin, just skinnier and tanner. I think there's a lack of tolerance, so you better be really, really good, or it could get loud quick. There's the doubt about Lane Kiffin's personality. And that's something we don't know a lot about in Baton Rouge. And you can ask the folks in Oxford, and you'll probably get a biased response, but that's the part of this thing that we haven't gotten into at LSU. You're in the honeymoon phase. No one's lost a game. He's aggressively going in the portal. The social media stuff's really cute, but people outside of Baton Rouge look at that with a little bit of a negative perspective. And then you've got the people who just straight up don't like Lane Kiffin. And here's an AAC head coach. God, I hope not, but there's no reason why he shouldn't, so I'll say yes. So that's a guy who doesn't like Lane Kiffin at all. A Mountain West head coach said, I hope he doesn't. I was actually rooting for Ole Miss to win after he left. He's a good coach, but I'll say no because I can't imagine leaving my team like that in the playoff. Last one, a Big 12 assistant. I think LSU's the best job in America. I'm not betting against LSU. I think what LSU is going to endure here, and it's not new because it happened in basketball 5 years ago. You're going to wear the black hat here. LSU is not going to be anybody's favorite place, and that's okay. I don't think any LSU fan is going to lose any sleep over that. I'm not suggesting that they will. I'm just suggesting that it's going to be the case. There are a lot of people at this point who don't like what Lane Kiffin did, don't like Lane Kiffin the way that he has acted. There was a big thought that Lane Kiffin had turned over a new leaf in Oxford, and everybody's ready to say that was ridiculous. How you perceive that, I don't really care. And me personally, I don't really care. I want Lane Kiffin to recruit really well, score a lot of points, and win a lot of games. If he does the things that he does he did at Ole Miss and won 50 games in 5 years and would have qualified for 3 of the last 4 playoffs if they were 12 team and did qualify for the last one and had a team good enough to go to the Final Four, like that's all I really care about. I don't care what he tweets. I don't care what the Mountain West coach has to say about him or the Big 12 assistant or the Big 10 coach. None of that matters. But I'm just telling you that people around the country are going to root against LSU. You're not going to be a darling here. You're going to be the black sheep because the coach did some things that people don't necessarily like. And I think that is what you garner out of that. The most substantive thing is probably that somebody had a negative thing to say there about Sam Levin's temperament. We'll see. It's different set of circumstances, different spot here, and he hadn't been coached by Lane Kiffin before, which generally puts quarterbacks in a really good spot to succeed. But LSU is going to be a lightning rod, y'all. College Game Day is going to show up in Oxford. You're going to be in prime time. You're going to be appointment television. You will be a big ticket item in the course of college football. I don't know if that'll be for the reasons that everybody's pulling for you. Not going to be as precious a story as Kurt Cignetti in Indiana. But again, it just doesn't matter if you win, and that's the point. Doesn't matter if you spend $95 million on a coach, $40 million on a roster. Like, all that stuff resolves itself. You win football games, and that's Lane Kiffin's task here. He's done it at his first 2 head coaching stops post-Alabama. We'll see if he can get it done in number 3. The majority of the coaches they polled seem to think that he will. That'll make it all worth it. It'll all be fine. you go out there, go 11-1, get in the playoff, and win a national championship. Nobody will remember any tweets. Nobody will remember any hot yoga or weight loss stuff, awkward chancellor, athletic director interactions in Oxford. All that'll be past. Just be national championship winning coach. We'll see if it happens. Tuesday edition Hunt Palmer Show right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. A lot to do in hour number 2. I want to preview LSU and Creighton. What do the Saints still need in free agency? We'll get into a little bit of that as well. That's some wild stats about LSU's losing streak in baseball, so we'll do some of that. If you missed any of the first hour, catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Kind of highlighted Jake Brown's phenomenal start to the season early on in the show. We talked to Sharif Ishak about the Saints, talked to Glenn West about the Tigers. You can catch that wherever you find your sound at Hunt Palmer Show. We'll pause for SportsCenter national headlines, come back, get you ready for LSU and Creighton. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, Highway 61 in St. Francisville, under new ownership as of October the 1st, but not new to Baton Rouge. Fabry family's been in action in Baton Rouge for 35 years. 3 locations, 5 brands, awesome people. They're going to give you a great customer experience, great buying experience, service after the sale. And oh, by the way, the deal's pretty good. They're still having incredible deals on trucks over at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. If you're looking for a Chevy Silverado, you're a Chevy guy, Chevy gal, up to $11,000 off MSRP or 1.9 APR financing. If you're looking for a GMC Sierra, up to $13,000 off MSRP. That is real savings, 5 figures worth of savings, 0.0% APR as well. Can't beat that. Check out the entire inventory online. It's there at FabryChevrolet.com. You can stop by and see them, Highway 61 in St. Francisville. It's Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're online at FabryChevrolet.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Everything you need for a stunning garden is at the Plant Barn in Baton Rouge. From trees and shrubs to plants and pottery, the Plant Barn has it all at great prices. Visit us today on Valley Street, right off Perkins Road in South Downs.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. As NFL free agency rolls on, the Patriots added to their receiver room, agreed to a 4-year, $80 million deal with Romeo Doubs, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. Jets found their new starting quarterback, and he's one of their former starters. They acquired Geno Smith from the Raiders for a late-round pick swap in next month's draft. Lions have a deal with Isaiah Pacheco, giving themselves a new running back to pair with Jahmyr Gibbs. Pacheco picking Detroit for a couple of reasons, explains ESPN's Jeremy Fowler.
Isaiah Pacheco is looking forward to resetting his career because his last 2 years at Kansas City had a lot of injuries, but if you remember that Super Bowl run, he was all about it, getting 20-plus carries. He wants to get back to that, so it really was more about fit than money for him. He gets the opportunity to tote that rock next to Jahmyr Gibbs as that sort of number 2. They love to play in the running game off of play action. It's going to be perfect for him.
On the Pat McAfee Show, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce revealed the support of his fiancée Taylor Swift was one of the biggest influences in continuing his NFL career. Duke starting guard Caleb Foster out indefinitely with a fractured right foot, but he has not been ruled out the remainder of this season.
Hey, it's resident Super Bowl champ Chris Candy. Coming on Wednesday, I'll give you my winners and losers from free agency so far. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Appreciate you hanging out with us here. Love you hang out tonight with me at Court to Table Sports Trivia at 8 o'clock. LSU baseball fires up at 6:30. I'm about to talk LSU and Creighton here very, very shortly. But if you are not headed out to the box and want to come have some fun, come do it with us. We'll be there from 8 to about 9:15 doing sports trivia. They have the LSU baseball game on the televisions there. You can watch, have some great food, great drinks, and win some gift cards. Always a great time. So I hope to see you all out at a Court to Table tonight on Burbank for 8 o'clock sports trivia. You know, Creighton has been so welcoming to LSU over the years. LSU has been able to use Creighton's facility to hoist national championships in 2 of the last 3 years. Of course, Creighton plays its home baseball games at Charles Schwab Field in downtown Omaha, side of the College World Series. And it's not coincidence that the Omaha Mavericks came to LSU and played a weekend series last year, because LSU offered them the opportunity to do that because Omaha let LSU practice on their field. I don't know if this was one of those type situations with Creighton or not. It's a little bit ironic, if not, that LSU has had the 2 Omaha schools down to the box in back-to-back seasons. But it's just a cool deal. It's just a little bit of a coincidence, and certainly a place that LSU's got some great memories. I was thinking, I have seen 6 games at Swayze Field in Oxford. I've seen 3 at Dudy Noble. I've seen 3 at Bluebell Park in Texas A&M. And I think that's about it as far as multiple times. I went to Louisiana Lafayette now twice. So Creighton's home ballpark is where I've seen the most college baseball games outside of the box. I've seen LSU play a lot of games there. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've seen LSU play 10 games in Charles Schwab Field. So they'll be here tonight. The Blue Jays are 5-7 on the season, and really not part of the story for me this evening with LSU's baseball team. It's LSU. And I just think it is vital for the Tigers to get off to a good start tonight. I mentioned this when Glenn was on about 30 minutes ago. In the 4 losses to Northeastern, UL Lafayette, and Sacramento State last week, 4 losses, you were outscored 16-0 in the first 3 innings. Now, one of those was 10-0 against Northeastern, so in the other 3 games, it was only 6-0. But still, you're not scoring in the first 3 innings. In these losses, you're immediately getting behind the 8 ball. And I know, to quote Paul Maneri, these guys aren't robots, okay? They're people. And I know that they are showing up to the ballpark today with a full understanding that they're not playing well as a team, that most of the hitters that are showing up to the ballpark today aren't hitting well as individuals, that they've lost 4 of 5, and that this is not the standard that they showed up to be playing at. So when you bring that to the ballpark, and then you're immediately behind 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 6-0, whatever, you're just putting more pressure on yourself. So whoever the starter is, if it's Zach Cowan, if it's Reagan Ricken, like whoever they put out there tonight to start the game, you got to go get 3 outs. Get in the dugout. And then Curiel, Brown, Milam, York, these guys that are ultimately at the top of the lineup, you got to go get some runs. Get off to a decent start. LSU is 9-1 when they score first. But when you get off to these awful starts early in games, you're just adding fuel to this negative fire that's burning within the program right now. So they've got to get off to a good start tonight. Now, I want to mention this because it's not something we've talked a lot about in the last 24 hours. We talked about it a lot last week, especially on Thursday and Friday, not yesterday. And I didn't write about it all weekend. The defense has been a little bit better in the last 3 games. You only committed 1 error over the weekend, and it was a costly one. Cade Arambidi dropped a 3rd strike and then threw into the baseline with Schmidt on the mound, and it crashed into the runner's helmet, and York's glove went flying, the ball went into right field, and a run scored. That was your only error of the weekend. Now, 3 pitches before that, Mason Braun didn't make a play in left field. And there are wild pitches, and there are pass balls. So I'm not excusing everything. But you're also making some really good plays. Like Curiel made a great play running in from center field. It was awesome. I thought Stephen Milam's defense at shortstop was exceptional. I think the defense is going to be better than it was over a small period of time there in that bad losing streak. And I told you that after it happened. I'm not concerned with pitchers throwing pickoff throws away. That's not necessarily something that's going to carry over day to day with the team. If your shortstop can't field a ground ball, that's a problem. If your third baseman can't field a ground ball, that's a problem. If your catcher can't keep the ball in front of him, that's a problem. If you don't run well at all in the outfield, it's a problem. Like, and LSU doesn't have a lot of those questions. I need Cade Arambidi to play better at catcher. But the defense looks a little bit better. And I would like that to continue in this game against Creighton. It's a small thing, but put a 0 up in the air column. Make the routine plays. Make a special one from time to time. Keep the ball in front of you. Don't throw it all over the place. And you know what I would say? You can't do this game in and game out because guys will start stealing on you. If I'm Nate Yeske and Jay Johnson, I am telling my pitchers, we are not throwing pickoff throws tonight, okay? We're not throwing them. We're not throwing balls down into the right field bullpen. We're not firing balls into center field. We are done for tonight throwing pickoff throws. You can't do that consistently because teams will pick up on the fact that you never throw over. They'll get bigger leads and they'll run. I got it. But I'm sick of LSU giving away bases in a stretch where they're not playing well because you're throwing the ball away on a pickoff throw. Like Gavin Guidry in the first inning against ULL does not need to be backpicking to second base. Cooper Williams shouldn't ever throw a pickoff throw to first base away. He's left-handed. He's looking right at him. He's a pitcher. He gets literally paid to throw the ball where he's trying to throw it. But just do away with it. No pickoff throws tonight. No free bases like that. What I would say. And then somebody's got to hit. I don't know who Creighton's going to start. I don't know who LSU's going to put out there. Might be Mason Braun. Might be Daniel Harden. Might be Zach Ruckert. Might be Braden Simpson. I don't know who they're going to play. They're playing a bevy of guys. They're moving people around. They're trying to catch lightning in a bottle somewhere. Trying to find somebody to hit. I don't know who's going to play. But get on base. Draw some walks. And impact the baseball. Hit it hard. They did in the first couple of innings on Sunday. And I told you to get off to a good start, and you can't help it if Stephen Milam is going to hit a rocket to the wall and the right fielder is going to dive and catch it. You can't help it if balls are being caught up against the 360-foot fence. But you're not doing enough of that consistently enough, so you got to hit. That's That's not exactly breaking news. I'm not giving you in-depth analytics on that. You just got to hit more. If you want to know anything about Creighton, their best player to this point has been Ben North. He leads them in batting average, triples, home runs, slugging, and on-base percentage. He's second on the team in steals. Hit a couple of homers at Charles Schwab Field over the weekend against Gonzaga. He is a graduate student. He's a shortstop. He hits second, third, fourth, all over the place. He's their best player. Got to pay attention to him. But this is about LSU playing LSU baseball. And they haven't. And I'm willing to look a little bit foolish if we look up in 4 or 5 weeks and LSU hasn't gotten this right, because I do think that they will play better. I think they will defend better. I think they will hit significantly better. I think the starting pitching's been okay. I'm not at a panic situation right now with LSU. Go out and lose tonight, it'll get worse, but I'm not at a panic spot. The truth of the matter is that if you win 3 of the next 4 baseball games in any way that you do it, you'll feel fine. Even if you lose tonight, if you go sweep Vanderbilt, it'll be fine. If you win tonight and win 2 out of 3 at Vanderbilt, you're fine. They just need to play a little bit better. And I think they will. I'm not pumping sunshine there. I'm not trying to make the fan base feel better. They're playing poorly across the board in a lot of aspects. But I'm not ready to give up on the talent level and some of the things that I've seen, quite frankly. I think the starting pitching is going to be good. I think there are some guys you can use out of the bullpen. And I think they're going to be okay, but it needs to start because you dig this hole, it becomes increasingly difficult to get out of. Your hole's not very deep right now. It looks bad, but it's 2 weeks of non-conference baseball. Feels bad. It's 2 weeks of non-conference baseball. Not that bad. You've got to go win 3 of the next 4. It would behoove them to start tonight with Creighton. So we'll see. Not sure how they're going to line it up on defense or on the mound, but it's your only midweek game this week. You do have Wednesday and Thursday off this week, so you can use some guys on the mound, and you got to go win the game. LSU and Creighton tonight at 6:30. You can listen to it on Eagle 98.1 pregame at 6. Step aside. Come back with some Saints talk next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. I got to drink some water, and then I'll tell you about Swing Easy. Wasn't going to be able to survive that one. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. They got water there and cold beer and seltzers and golf. It's a lot of fun. It's a great place to hang out over there on Skenes at Perkins. You want to play with your friends? You can play 18 holes of golf. You want to work on your game? You can do that as well. You can put it on the driving range session. You can see the trajectory of your ball. You can see the ball speed. You can see the carry distance on your driver, on your wedges. You can see where your golf club impacts the ball in a slow motion. Great technology and really beneficial to trying to work on your game. And you can do it in a controlled environment where you're not out on the range that doesn't have any grass on it, or the golf balls are all scuffed up, or it's wet out there because it rained a bajillion over the weekend. Control those elements at Swing Easy Golf Club on Skenes at Perkins, or online at swingeasygcbr.com. It's Swing Easy Golf Club, Skenes at Perkins, swingeasygcbr.com.
Championships are won with preparation, and so are great roofs.
Coach is tough on us about preparation, and Parrish brings that same championship mindset.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
ParrishBuilt.com. At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Multi-platinum Grammy-winning superstar Zach Bryan is coming to Tiger Stadium Saturday, March 28th for the Death Valley Live Stadium Series, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge is hooking you up with free tickets. Register now at 1045ESPN.com for your chance to win.
So, NFL free agency was just fast and furious yesterday. Just deals happening by the second. I was refreshing Twitter as fast as I possibly could, and you felt like you couldn't even keep up. But those are the ones that had been kind of negotiated pretty quickly in the legal tampering period. And now it feels like there are some folks that are taking their time a little bit. There are some teams that are have addressed maybe a major need and are looking for some ancillary things. And that may be where the Saints are right now. You had to get a guard. So, bam, they go straight to the front of the line, get the best guard on the board. And then you feel like, okay, what else do we need to do here? Feel like we need to bolster the running back room. You go get a proven running back. And then you add your tight end room with Noah Fant. And so now what's left? Ross Jackson's got a really good piece up at LouisianaSports.net, what the Saints may do elsewhere in this free agent period. And keep in mind, this is a little bit of uncharted waters is incorrect because the Saints have certainly signed free agents before. But they usually aren't this aggressive. They usually have to stand at the back of the line, wait for the market to get set, wait for everybody to go through, and then go get the C-tier players. This has not been that. You are able at this point, because you've got some flexibility with the cap, to continue to spend with some fairly high-end free agents. And so what positions might you be willing to do that? Well, edge rusher is the first one that comes to just about everyone's mind. Edge rushers are hard to come by. The good ones make a lot of money, and they don't often change teams. And so you're looking at a handful of players, and it's probably, based on the discussions that we've seen, kind of headlined by Caleb Von Chason, former LSU Tiger. He had a really good year this past year in New England. He had spent his first 4 years in Jacksonville and then had gone to the Raiders and then finally got picked up by Mike Vrabel and the Patriots. He played in 16 games. He started 10 of them. He finished the season with 7.5 sacks. He made 10 tackles for loss. He hit the quarterback 18 times. And I was looking at his PFF grades, and the grades aren't great from a numbers perspective, but there is a lot of production. He was credited with 44 hurries by PFF, 18 hits on the quarterback, as I mentioned. PFF gives him credit for parts of 12 sacks. You saw 7.5 as his official number. those all look like really impactful numbers. Now, the grades aren't awesome. It's 59 overall. It's a 43.8 against the run. It's a 26.8 in terms of tackling. And then in pass rush, his best number is 61.9. But that might be a guy you can bring in, depending on the price. You feel like you've got Chase Young there. You've got Carl Granderson there. This is an extra piece in the event that Cam Jordan is not back. He's not significantly past his prime here. You're talking about a 26-year-old player that should be in his prime. He will be at his age 27 season next year. And I think that makes a lot of sense. You're not asking K'Lavon Chaisson, with your current roster composition, to come in and be an all-pro. You're not counting him to come in and be your sack leader. You're saying come in and be our third edge player. Add a veteran presence, add depth, and then perhaps you'll play some more on third downs, and that's where we need you. I think that makes a lot of sense, and I would be for an addition of K'Lavon Chaisson. Now let's look at linebacker, because with Demario Davis moving on, this becomes a very interesting conversation for New Orleans. Danny Stutzman is the first name to come to mind. They took him in the middle rounds last year. They liked what they saw in camp. They got him more playing time as the season went on. Do you think he's ready to be the replacement for Demario Davis? That is a mouthful. We know the impact Demario Davis has had on this defense for 7-8 years. And now he's gone. Are you going to count on a second-year player to fill those shoes entirely? Maybe. There was a lot of talk that Jacksonville's Devin Lloyd was on the Saints list. Ross Jackson tells us that that's somebody the Saints absolutely targeted. Carolina made that push and grabbed him. So do you go to an old friend, Caden Ellis, who moved on to Atlanta, has been a very productive player, knows the facility. The staff's not there anymore, but it's a guy that knows what he would be getting into if you could get him to come to New Orleans. And I would be for that too. I think Caden Ellis is a very good player. Then do you go Stunning Styles in the draft? Is that the area you're going to shop in with your first pick? I don't know. But they've got to do something at linebacker. You're now thin at corner. You got Kool-Aid. You got Quincy Riley. That means you don't have a number one corner. And that's a bit of a hole on this roster. Not that Alontae Taylor was a number one corner, but he was a veteran corner who played your star role and was a productive piece to your team. So you got to figure out what you're going to do there. Is that Caleb Downs in the draft? Or is that a situation where you think you can address that in free agency? You're not going to get a number one corner in free agency. That's unlikely. Now, you could draft Mansour Lane at 8 and hope he's your number one corner. That would move McKinstry and Riley around potentially. Shuffle the deck that way. Or you can draft Caleb Downs, as I said, or you can try to shop somewhere else in free agency. But you've got to get a corner. You're not good enough at corner right now. You're not nearly deep enough at corner right now. I like Quincy Riley. I think Kool-Aid McKinstry is a nice player. I don't know if he's quite been what Saints thought he would be when they drafted him. But you got holes there, needs there at corner. And then wide receiver is the last one. And there are a lot of options at wide receiver. Like Juwan Jennings from the 49ers is an option. The Steelers' Calvin Austin could be an option. And one of the things that Ross Jackson mentions on LouisianaSports.net, the Jaguars appear a little bit interested in potentially moving on from Brian Thomas. Huge rookie year, not as good second year. I'm not opposed to that. Brian Thomas is a talented dude. Got good size, home run hitting ability. He kind of he's a different player than Chris Olave. He's a different player than Devon Vele. He's certainly a different player than Mason Tipton. And I don't know enough about Jalen Polk. They may have some similarities there. But in any event, he's big, he's tall, he's fast, he's been productive. He had a tough year last year, no doubt. He had a monster freshman year, rookie year. And if you can get him for a reasonable price, on a rookie deal for not a lot of assets going back the other way because the Jaguars are just like, we don't really like what we're seeing here. I could see that being a value play that adds a lot of talent because you can only address one of these spots at the 8th pick. And let's be honest, once you get beyond your first-round pick, the hit rate drops. Now, you got to have confidence that you can do it. And you can hit on a second-round pick and hit on a third-round pick and hit on a fourth-round pick. But that first-round pick is a better bet. And you can only address one of these needs there. So you have to determine what the most likely option is there at 8. That doesn't take a lot of math. I think it stands to reason the Saints lacked confidence Jeremiah Love would be there at 8, and that's why they went and got Etienne. And maybe overpaid for him, quite frankly. But somebody's going to be there at 8. Styles, Downs, Delane, Jordan Tyson. Somebody's going to be there, but you can only address one of the needs. So you've got to go and figure some other things out in free agency and, in Thomas's case, via trade. The last thing, and I think it's way down on the priority list, something that's generally pretty easy to get pulled off, veteran quarterback. You've got your starter, you've got your backup. They're both on the cheap. Veteran guy to come in and help nurture them along a little bit, I think is a good idea. It's not something that I'm just beating down the door to get accomplished quickly. That's down the priority list. But up the priority list, wide receiver, corner, linebacker, edge rusher, got to do some things there if you believe you've got a team that's good enough to go win the division. And I think based on the moves you're seeing the Saints make, they probably think they do. I think they think their offense right now is very, very good. And I think they trust Brandon Staley to continue to put that defense in a positive spot like he did down the stretch last year. But that doesn't mean there aren't holes in the roster. You got to fix them. And they did a great job on day one of free agency. Now it's time to continue to mine, continue to try to find some guys who maybe value plays and make it work. I like a lot of these options that Ross has laid out in this piece, and hopefully the Saints are able to coax one or two of them to come down to the Big Easy. Jordan, what you think?
I think, we're talking about free agency, and yesterday was just an unprecedented day because, we was actually shopping on day one of free agency. So I'm still riding that high. At this point, Mickey Loomis can sign anybody. I'm like, it might work out. So the draft is where all my attention is. Like this 8th pick, I'm actually losing sleep over it because I feel like the closer we get in knowing the history of Mickey Loomis, like it's going to be one of these Ohio State guys. Like it just has to be. And I'm really looking at Downs and Sonny Styles at this point. The receiver thing, Tyson or Lemon, I see all this, but this draft is so loaded at receiver that I'm completely away from that. As long as we address the need, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be that 8th pick.
The draft is the most important and efficient way to make this thing work.
Easily.
You're not going to sign very many DeMario Davises. That you go into the free agency pool, grab him, and you get an all-pro. It's just like that doesn't happen very much. It can. It doesn't happen very much. You're more likely to get your stars, plug your gaps with draft picks that high. Yep. And so that's got to be, as you mentioned, a priority once you've filled with some solid veterans, and they've done that. So I like the way that this thing is shaping up. I still think the Saints are probably a year away, but they've certainly gotten closer over the course of the last 24 hours, and they could do more than that over the course of the next 4 weeks. So we'll see. That's a look at the New Orleans Saints. Come back. Got 30 minutes to go. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Looking for more closet space? David Duvall and his team can do it. They can do it 2 different ways. One, you build a new closet. They're a licensed contractor, licensed, bonded, insured. They can build out a brand new closet for you. That's something you're interested in? Have a conversation with David. They can also take your current closet space and just use it more efficiently. If you're just crammed for space in your closet, just don't have the room. Well, maybe it's a situation where you can put in some cubbies, put in some doors, put in some secret compartments, as it were, pull downs and whatnot. And David can make that space bigger, make it more comfortable, make it more functional. and it'll be customized to your exact specifications. You sit down with David, you go through a questionnaire. What do you have? What are you looking for? And then David customizes the solution for you. Look at the website, onebathandclosets.com. You'll see pictures of his fantastic work. It's functional and customized. It's also beautiful. Learn it right the first time and leave the competition behind at One Bath and Closets. Find them online and get that free consultation. Onebathandclosets.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
The Cane's Box Combo, a symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Hope to see you out at Sports Trivia tonight at Court to Table, 8 o'clock. We'll start things up. Be watching the LSU baseball game. Playing some Sports Trivia, you can win gift cards, get something cold to drink, something awesome to eat. The food at Court to Table is great. So come on out and see us at 8 o'clock. Grab a team. Come by yourself. It's always a fun time. Come see us, Court to Table at 8 o'clock for Sports Trivia. You know, I was kind of struck last night, and I don't know why last night did it. Honestly, this is an evergreen topic that I could talk about like for 8 months out of the year whenever I wanted to. But it struck me last night, maybe because of the stage. I'm not really sure. But ultimately, when this thing is all said and done, I think there's a really good chance that we're going to look back at the spring of 2023 and go, one of the best ever was here. It's Paul Skenes. And last night, World Baseball Classic in Houston. Huge crowd at what I still call the Juice Box. Huge influx of Mexico fans. A lot of United States fans, obviously, as well. You're sharing that stage with Bobby Witt Jr. and Bryce Harper and Aaron Judge and Kyle Schwarber and Bregman and Cal Raleigh. And it's just a scene in Houston yesterday. And Paul Skenes treated the Mexican team like a Little League team. And I honestly don't know how the team that's representing Mexico in the World Baseball Classic compares to the lineup for the Twins or the Braves. I don't really know. It's hard to tell. I think it's probably a notch below, but if you told me it was about the same, I wouldn't think that was crazy. But he goes 4 innings. They got 1 hit. Didn't score, obviously. 7 strikeouts. I mean, he only got 12 outs. And he's just throwing heaters, throwing the splinker, breaking balls. He throws whatever he wants. He throws at 101. And I'm not sure what's going to derail this train. He's 6'6". His legs are tree trunks. He throws 7 pitches, commands them all, throws 102. This guy is the best pitcher in the world and could be for a little bit. And we've had great baseball success here in Baton Rouge over the years, over the decades. And Ben McDonald was the first pick in the draft. And Joey Bell played here and became all-world in the 90s. And there have been really good careers. DJ LeMahieu won a couple batting titles. Bregman's had a heck of a go at it. You had Chad Oj and Mike Sorotka. Aaron Nola's been very, very good. There have been good players here, but nobody like this. And I still marvel that it came out of nowhere to me, because I've now 3 different times gone back and watched his last outing at Air Force. They were the 4 seed in the Austin Regional. Texas hosted. And now consider what we know. Consider what we know. When LSU plays a 4 seed, your fear level is 0. I've seen ULM come in here. I've seen Southern come in here. I've seen Jackson State come in here. I've seen Utah Valley come in here. I've seen lots of 4 seeds. And I guess the fear, which they experienced with Ben Sheets in the 90s, was you get a first-round pick at one of these lower seeds that comes in. Texas didn't get a future first-round pick. Texas got this guy. One of the best pitchers maybe ever. I don't even think that's hyperbole. I don't think I'm stretching the imagination here. I don't think I'm being a homer. I don't think I'm being a prisoner of the moment. I think Paul Skenes could be one of the most dominant pitchers ever. His first 2 seasons in the big leagues demonstrate that. He's setting franchise records. He's setting league-wide records. He started the All-Star game a couple times as a first- and second-year player. I don't think I'm being hyperbolic here. And Texas got that guy in the 1-4 game, and they just kind of knocked him all over the place. The highlights are on YouTube. Go look at him. He was throwing 95, 96, and they just knocked him around. His numbers weren't that good at Air Force. He's big and strong. We knew who he was in the portal. We wanted LSU to get him, but we thought he was a 2-way guy. I thought he was going to hit. LSU staff thought he was going to hit in December, entering the year. And then Tommy White got hurt in the first inning, diving back to first base. And Jay Johnson and Wes Johnson looked at each other and went, Skenes can't do that. We can't have Skenes slide back into first base, jam his shoulder, and miss the rest of the year. So he's not hitting. So he's pitching. Now we got this. And again, I'm not exactly sure what struck me yesterday to come up with this, because maybe Team Mexico is worse than the Cubs or the Rangers. It's hard to tell. But they couldn't hit him. They had no chance. And this is early March Skenes on a 65 pitch count limit. I mean, if this was July, he'd have gone 7 shutout on 1 hit with 14 strikeouts. That's what he was doing to non-conference teams a few years ago. Now he does it to the team representing Mexico in the World Baseball Classic. I think we're going to realize that this was the best player to ever come through LSU, the most decorated LSU player in Major League history when it's all said and done. You never know. You hope his career goes something like Strasburg or Verlander, where he's healthy and has durability and longevity and pitches deep into his 30s. That's what you hope. You hope it doesn't Steven Strasburg, because you never know with that position in that sport. But we figured it out with Skenes right about week 3 or 4 of SEC play. I mean, I can still remember Jim Schlossnagle, who was at A&M at the time, saying, I was around for all the stars. I was around for Strasburg. I was around for all those guys, David Price, and this guy's better than all of them. And he said that before he was truly Skenes. And then you got to the College World Series, and he's carving up Tennessee in the first game and holding the rope against Wake in the second game, and got a championship out of it, even though he didn't pitch in the championship series. But I just feel like in 15 years, I'll look back and go, man, got Skenes here. I don't know if I'll ever see it again, but he was a Hall of Famer and considered one of the best right-handed starters ever. I don't think you hear me talk like that a lot. I don't really feel like I'm generally a prisoner of the moment or get swept up in something. I have a hard time containing the words that I say about what Paul Skenes does with a baseball. Because there's a lot of really good pitchers that just don't do it like that. They don't throw as hard. They don't throw as many pitches. They don't command as many pitches. I mean, that splinker he's throwing up there at 93 or whatever it is. I mean, who hits that? And then if you think that might be it and he sneaks it by you at 102, again, 4 innings, 1 hit, 7 strikeouts and a walk. I'm curious where his career takes him, because I just don't think it's going to be in Pittsburgh for all that much longer. But then it stands to reason that the Yankees or Dodgers or Giants will come calling, and that's probably where he'll end up. But he's something, y'all. And I'm watching last night, and I just can't help but go, I can't believe this guy was on my campus in that short a time ago, and that now he's the biggest star on the mound in the sport. Crazy. United States won it 5-3 against Mexico. They'll be moving on. I believe they play again tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Tuesday action. They play Italy tonight. Aaron Nola pitched for Italy last night, so that game will be at 8 o'clock on FS1. Japan beat the Czech Republic. Instantly, let me mention that real quick before we go to break here. The Czech Republic, who is playing over in Tokyo, they've got a pitcher on their team who is employed as a full-time electrician. He's literally an electrician that pitches in the World Baseball Classic. And he went out there in this game that was for our time this morning, for them was tonight. And he started the game and went 4 2/3 of shutout baseball against Japan.
No. Ohtani was in the lineup?
Ohtani was not in the lineup. They sat him today. Okay. They didn't need him. They were 3-0 already, so they sat him. But he got a standing ovation from the Japan crowd because they all knew the story. I mean, this guy he was throwing like nothing up there, just flipping breaking balls, throwing these slow fastballs. But he's full-time electrician. 4 2/3, 6 hits, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts.
That's amazing.
And they had to take him out after 67 pitches because you're not allowed to throw any more than 65. You can finish the at-bat, so we got to 67. But that's it.
This dude's one of the greatest athletes to walk this planet.
The Czech Republic, baby.
Yeah, I mean, right off the couch, literally off the couch, man. Wow.
Out from the electrical box in the back, throwing fuses and then throwing fastballs. My guy was putting Japan in a pretzel.
Imagine the stories he's going to have when he comes back to work, man. Man, this guy's a legend. I might get a jersey. This guy's jersey.
Yeah, they had, let's see, was Seiya in the lineup today? No Seiya either. So they sat their two best hitters, but still,
regardless of the fact,
Japanese national team that could win this whole thing.
Yes.
It'll be LSU. It'll be USA and Japan in the final. And for him to go 6 shutout or almost 6 shutout is crazy.
Insane.
All right, take time out, come back and finish it up.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
GoTro's Outdoor Power. GoTro's Outdoor Power. I want to remind you, coming up later this month, so not right now, but later on this month, incredible savings over there at GoTro's Outdoor Power. You're going to be able to stop on by and just get phenomenal savings later on this March, and you're not going to want to miss them. It's going to be at their locations on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, and then, of course, their location in Gonzales as well. An incredible amount of inventory over there at GoTro's Outdoor Power. Check them out at GoTrosOnline.com. That's GoTrosOnline.com. My guy Gant GoTro sent me the information for it. It's called the Mower Madness Sale, March 23rd through March 28th. So about 6 days. You got an open house, food, and giveaways on Friday, March the 27th. But everything's going to be on sale that entire week. It'll be the best prices they've got all year long over at GoTro. So they'll have some giveaways. There'll be more information as we ease through the month of March. But keep in mind, Mower Madness, March 23rd through the 28th. If you want the best prices they're going to have all year at GoTro's Outdoor Power, check them out the end of March at the Mower Madness Sale. GoTro's Outdoor Power, Airline Highway, and in Gonzales. GoTrosOnline.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not?
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Take a tour at Marucci. Really make the official bat of Major League Baseball. All those guys trying to hit Paul Skenes can't do it. It's not because of the bats, though. Bats are awesome because most of them are made right here in Baton Rouge. They make $1,200 a day here at Marucci, and the world's best put them to the test all Major League season long. And you can go take a tour of where they make those bats and see what that process looks like, as well as hear the history and the story behind Marucci. Step into the heart of game over there at Marucci. Take that tour. You can find a ticket at maruccisports.com/campus-tour. And when you buy that ticket, it comes with a 20% discount in the Campus Tour store and in the Hitter's House. If you got youth baseball player, take them by Marucci. Got a youth softball player, take her by Marucci. Got a team? Want to do a little team building exercise? Go on by Marucci. Take a tour. Check out the Hitter's House. Grab some lumber. Take some swings. It's an awesome spot, truly a gem here in Baton Rouge. MarucciSports.com/campus-tour for details. That's online at MarucciSports.com. All right, big game for the Bombers last night. Once again, Myers 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored, as is tradition.
Yes.
I felt like they really took a step forward on defense. Really, that was because we put cones out on the field and told them they had to stand by their cone instead of tackling all their teammates.
Well, that progress.
And look, I thought a solid performance, even with the other team as intimidating as they were. The head coach of the other team, Tiger Great, my good buddy Rafe Rhymes, was the head coach of the other squad. And it was a heck of a ball game last night between the other team. Myers called them the bad team. I don't know if that was necessarily the right nomenclature. I think they probably have a team name, but he was going with the bad team.
They're the enemies. They're the bad team. Yeah, they're not us.
And Myers got a lot of action in the first inning as the pitcher.
Whoa!
Not as much action when in center field in the second innings. But heck of a ball game last night. Bombers back on the board. Great effort last night.
So if you had to guess right now, would you think he's going to be an outfield when he grows up or a pitcher?
I doubt he's a pitcher. If he has any of his dad's traits, he will not be a pitcher because his dad did not have a very good arm. So we'll see. He likes to play defense in T-ball, though, because there's a lot of balls that get hit.
Okay.
And when you get to hit, you only get to hit once, and then that's over. So he likes to go. He likes the constant action out there on the T-ball field. So,
man, sound like a shortstop to me.
Shout out to the Bombers. Heck of a performance. Really like the discipline. You always hear the greatest improvement comes from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah.
I think you saw that with the Bombers. One thing we got to work on with Myers. He ran in the wrong dugout last night.
Oh, man.
So we had to switch dugouts from game 1 to game 2.
Progress.
And he just ran from third base,
Straight
ran right past home plate, didn't touch it, went straight into the wrong dugout, and did not seem fazed that there was no teammates in the dugout. He was just in there in an empty dugout, and I just had to scream, like, you probably want to come back over here, which he did. So, we'll work on that. We'll work on dugout management, which dugout to go into.
Yes.
That's one of the fundamentals of the game is knowing which dugout to stand in.
So
we'll have to get that taken care of.
But also, Rome wasn't built overnight. It takes progress, man.
We're getting there. All right, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so last night in the World Baseball Classic, we had Mariners teammates Randy Arozarena. He tried to shake Kyle Riley's hand when he went up to bat. Riley did not want to shake his hand as, they're on 2 opposite teams. So leaving your MLB teammate hanging in the World Baseball Classic, take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave it. I like the foundation here that Raleigh's trying to take this seriously, but you play with the guy. Y'all were in the World Series last year, or you're a game away from the World Series last year. He's on your team. He's going for a quick handshake. Just dap him up and let's play some baseball.
Look quick.
We're not. This is not war here. It's the World Baseball Classic. Let's go ahead and dap somebody up and then take some swings and catch. And then you heard after Arozarena kind of ripped him in the media. Said Raleigh.
It's gonna be kind of weird.
I would imagine Raleigh would do that differently if he had to do over again. It's just not that big a deal to dap up your current teammate, who you would. everyone out there understands that's the situation
we still have
here.
a team to go to once it's all over.
I mean, come
with.
on now, it's fine.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of weird when they do get back together.
Yeah.
So Baylor was eliminated from the Big 12 tournament earlier today. And if you remember, they picked up the former G League center James Najee.
Yeah.
And since joining the team, Baylor went 7-15 since him joining the team. So are G League dropouts not impacting the game? Take it or leave it.
Guess I'll have to take that.
I'll take it.
Have to take that.
Got
This
to,
is
man.
Gambler's Paradise Conference Tournament Week. There's more games in the Conference Tournament Week than there are in the NCAA tournament. So
that's what Jimmy's doing.
Oh yeah, you know that. I miss the old Big East tournament when I was in college. Appointment viewing.
Always, man.
Because the first day was like DePaul and Seton Hall and like some of the ones that weren't very good. But then you got to when the old days it was UConn, it was Syracuse, it was Georgetown, it was
loaded.
It was awesome. Villanova. And St. John's,
was in there?
Providence was in there. They were kind of the early teams at DePaul. And but I mean, it was just heavyweight. I mean, Kemba Walker, it was heavyweight stuff. That was awesome. But no longer. That's it for us. It's gonna be a sports trivia tonight. Matt's gonna drive you home on AFR.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Really short drive. Told y'all last weekend, well, 2 weekends ago, I guess now. My wife and I were up in St. Francisville. If you're in Baton Rouge, it really is a quick drive. Not to mention if you're in Baker, Zachary, up there, Scotlandville, of course, over in Point Capee Parish, either the Felicianas. Quick drive over to St. Francisville for amazing deals. If you're looking for a truck, this is the spot. The Chevy Silverado is up to $11,000 off MSRP, 1.9% APR financing. If you're looking for a GMC Sierra, up to $13,000 off MSRP. These are real savings at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You can start your buying process online at fabrychevrolet.com, but go by and see them. Go see the Fabry family. They've been at this for 35 years. You get a great customer experience, a great buying experience, and service after the sale as well. Fabry Chevrolet GMC, again, that entire inventory is online. Go by and see them on Highway 61 in St. Francisville or fabrychevrolet.com.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived.